Across 6 centuries of monarchy, war, power, and transformation, the title Princess of Wales has been worn by only a select group of women whose lives were far more complex than ceremonial elegance or royal portraiture. Behind the crown and public image lies a deeper story, one shaped by political alliances, personal sacrifice, silent endurance, and at times, extraordinary influence over the future of the British throne itself. To understand these women is to understand the evolving nature of monarchy itself, where marriage was never simply romance, but strategy, survival, and the continuation of dynasties that define nations. The origins of this title begin in the aftermath of England's conquest of Wales, when the designation Prince of Wales was first created as a political symbol of control over the Welsh territories. With this creation came the wives of these heirs, women who would eventually come to be known as Princesses of Wales. Yet in these early centuries, the title was not consistently formalized, and many of these women exist in history more as shadows than as fully documented figures. Their influence is often recorded indirectly, through the actions of their husbands or the outcomes of dynastic politics. Still, even in this silence, their presence shaped the foundations of royal tradition. Among the earliest and most significant figures associated with this legacy was Joan of Kent, a woman whose life defied the expectations of medieval royalty. Renowned for her beauty, intelligence, and controversial personal life, she secretly married Edward, known as the Black Prince, heir to Edward III. This act alone created a major scandal at court, as it bypassed royal approval and challenged established norms of dynastic control. Yet despite opposition, the marriage was ultimately recognized, and Joan assumed her place as Princess of Wales. Her life was defined by a constant tension between personal devotion and political expectation, reflecting the fragile position of royal women in a world where their choices were rarely their own. As England moved deeper into the late medieval period, the title continued to exist, though not always consistently recorded or emphasized. This was an era shaped by prolonged conflict, including the 100 Years' War, succession crises, and shifting alliances between European powers. In this environment, the Princess of Wales was expected to represent stability in an unstable world, tasked with producing heirs, maintaining royal dignity, and embodying continuity in a dynasty often threatened by uncertainty. Yet behind these expectations were lives frequently marked by isolation, pressure, and limited personal freedom. With the arrival of the Tudor period, the role of Princess of Wales became deeply embedded in international diplomacy. Royal marriages were no longer domestic arrangements alone. They became powerful instruments of foreign policy, designed to secure alliances with Europe's most influential kingdoms. It is within this context that one of the most historically significant figures emerges, Catherine of Aragon. Originally married to Arthur, Prince of Wales, she arrived in England as a young Spanish princess, carrying the weight of a major alliance between England and Spain. Her brief marriage to Arthur ended tragically with his early death, leaving her in a precarious political and personal position, yet still tied to one of the most important dynastic unions of the era. Her later marriage to Henry VIII would ultimately alter the course of English history. But even before becoming queen, Catherine's position as Princess of Wales revealed the vulnerability of royal women used as instruments of diplomacy. She was widely respected for her intelligence, her unwavering faith, and her dignity under immense pressure. Her later refusal to accept the annulment of her marriage became one of the defining moments in English history, contributing directly to the break with the Roman Catholic Church and the formation of the Church of England. Yet even in her earliest role, Catherine embodied the immense responsibility placed upon royal women to secure political stability at all costs. Following this turbulent period, the title of Princess of Wales entered a long phase of inconsistency, largely due to political instability, religious conflict, and dynastic transitions. For generations, it faded from prominence, not because the role disappeared entirely, but because the monarchy itself was in flux. Civil wars, power shifts, and changing royal houses meant that the continuity of titles was often disrupted. Still, the role remained present in principle, a symbolic position waiting to re-emerge when stability returned. Centuries later, as the monarchy evolved into a more structured and publicly visible institution, the Princess of Wales reappeared with renewed importance. During the Georgian and Victorian eras, royal marriages became increasingly formalized, and public interest in the monarchy grew significantly. The women who entered this role were no longer just political figures behind closed doors. They became public personalities, observed, discussed, and often idealized by society. Their behavior, appearance, and influence were now part of a broader cultural narrative about monarchy and national identity. As the British Empire expanded, the Princess of Wales came to represent continuity and stability within a rapidly changing global landscape. Yet, even as the monarchy strengthened its public image, the private lives of these women remained tightly bound by duty and expectation. Many were required to maintain composure regardless of personal struggle, reinforcing the idea of monarchy as unshakable, distant, and eternal. This contrast between public image and private reality became one of the defining tensions of royal life. This tension reached its most powerful and modern expression in the life of Diana, Princess of Wales. When she entered the royal family, she transformed the role into something the world had never seen before. Her presence attracted unprecedented global attention, and her connection with the public redefined what it meant to be a royal figure. She was admired not only for her elegance but for her compassion, her emotional openness, and her ability to connect with people across social boundaries. Through her humanitarian work, including efforts related to AIDS awareness and landmine clearance, Diana shifted public perception of the monarchy from formality to humanity. However, behind this admiration was a life marked by intense media scrutiny, emotional isolation, and personal struggle within the rigid structure of royal expectations. Her story became one of the most influential modern narratives of royalty, and her tragic death marked a turning point in how the world views both the monarchy and the cost of public life. In the present era, the title continues through Catherine, Princess of Wales, who represents a modern evolution of this centuries-old role. Unlike her predecessors, she operates in a world defined by instant communication, global media, and constant public scrutiny. Every appearance is analyzed, every gesture interpreted, and every decision amplified across international platforms. Yet she also carries forward the traditional responsibilities of royal duty, charity work, public service, and the representation of the monarchy in a rapidly changing society. Her role reflects a delicate balance between tradition and modernity, showing how the Princess of Wales has evolved from a purely political position into a global symbol of continuity, service, and public engagement. Across all 10 princesses of Wales, a clear pattern emerges. Each woman inherited a role defined by duty, yet each shaped it according to the pressures and realities of her time. Some were celebrated, others overlooked, some endured profound tragedy, while others transformed the monarchy itself. Together, they form a continuous thread through British history, connecting medieval conquest to modern constitutional monarchy, silence to global visibility, and political alliance to personal identity. The title Princess of Wales is therefore not merely a designation. It is a living reflection of monarchy itself, an institution constantly evolving, yet always rooted in tradition. From Joan of Kent's secret marriage to Catherine of Aragon's political significance, from centuries of absence to the global impact of Diana, and into the modern responsibilities carried by Catherine today, each woman has added a chapter to a legacy that continues to unfold. And as history moves forward, one question remains: how will this centuries-old title continue to evolve in a world where tradition and modern expectations are constantly in conflict?